Still, y'all Trap Type 18 and Trap News Network back in the same, like cook cracking this thing, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Good news you can use. Good knowledge you ain't finna get nobody's college, man. Positive message of the day. Sometimes all we can do is live, bro. Sometimes all we can do is live. We got Sharice Mills talking about Luce Cannon. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Sharice Mills is Luce Cannon's real wife. Not Sharice Mills, I'm sorry. This is Gigi. Gigi is a fake wife. Gigi is the real wife. This is Gigi. Sharice Mills is the fake wife. This is Gigi talking about Luce Cannon pulling power out on his own son. Let's get into this content.
So I fell in love with somebody that he pretended to be, right? So that's that. Another thing I wanted to address is, I think that there was a question, something about like, how do you feel that Sharice says that he only has one child? I want to make it very clear that it doesn't bother me. My daughter, when I left Canada, she was only 6 months old. So she is not going to remember him in any way, shape, or form. The only thing that she will know about him is what she sees on the internet when she's old enough to ever be on the internet. That's the only thing she's going to see, which brings me to the reason why I feel like it is imperative for me to clear up all the lies, the false stories, or anything, especially revolving my child. I don't know about any other mother, your grandmother, whatever. That's cool. If you don't think it's cool, or you want to turn the other cheek, whatever you want to do. But this is my child, and I want her to know if she ever sees this on the internet. If she ever...
That's crazy, because her kid is definitely growing up in a technological age where the only thing she might even know about Luce Cannon at this point might be what she sees on the internet, because he might be doing double-digit years in the penitentiary. She's like a couple years old, like very small. She's like a baby.
If anybody in school ever brings it up, or whatever the case may be, a family member, anything, I want her to know that her mother was her biggest supporter, that I was her biggest advocate, that I stood up for her when, her name was being brought up. I'm going to answer the question. I haven't really heard him speak on you, Gigi. Do you really want to see him locked up and away from his kids? If you say he's deadbeat, then the losing the opportunity to build a relationship. Okay, good question. So I know you probably haven't heard him speak about me, but there's multiple interviews he spoke about me. Sharice constantly...
And it's crazy that Luce Cannon doesn't claim the kid that he has with her, and they had it through in vitro fertilization. That means that they had to pay to have the baby. So imagine paying to get your girl pregnant through science and all that kind of stuff, and still not claiming the baby.
Speaks about me and my child. Like I said, it's public, it's all over the place. It's not like I'm just delusional. It's been going on for a long time. I understand a lot of people, like I said, you can't watch every interview, can't see everything, but you have to understand, like I said, he has spoke on me on Clubhouse with WACK 100. That's kind of where it all started. The original narrative was, like I said, if you guys subscribe, I'm going to share all this with you. It's come to a point where Cannon and Sharice have bullied the internet enough with lies, false stories on other people, and everybody just runs with their narrative, and they have never provided one shred of receipt, proof, evidence, or anything. Yet, I see that people attack anybody else who speaks out against them. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, when you come to my channel, anything that I say, I'm going to show proof and receipts. So it's not like you have to take my word for it. I'm not here to have a he said, she said. It is strictly just facts with WACK 100. Cannon's exact words were, he did not know who I was, that I was a jump off, and that the child that we conceived through
Calling your literal wife a jump off is crazy. Luce Cannon is a different type of diabolical.
IVF, my daughter, Legacy Williams, is not his child. So as you can imagine, as a mother, okay, the man who brought this child into the world with you is now going on a public platform with WACK 100, might I add. Okay, that's somebody that, has a big platform where millions of people are going to hear and see this father saying this about his child, all because he wants to be famous. Okay, So that's where it first started. Then it went on from there. Then it went on to Tasha K. And you can go look these up as well. Like I said, I'll post them as well. But Tasha K, they went on that interview as well and said the exact same thing. So again, here we go back to your question. Just because you haven't heard it yourself does not mean it's not being
Luce Cannon made it very clear that he didn't know who Gigi was. It was this whole thing.
said. There's a million people who have heard it. It's been all over street TV. You can go to him, Alex Alonso.
Shout out Alex Alonso.
He has done tons of pieces on a lot of his interviews and has said, done the lies, like evidence receipts. It's like I said, divorce, no. So also, like I was saying, back to what I was saying about the whole situation, I think people have a misconception that, that I'm speaking out because I want to see him locked up away from his kids. That was the Toxic Media's question. Do I really want to see him locked away from his kids? Let me answer that question. Now, which kids are you talking about? Are you talking about the child that he has with Sharice that Sharice says is his only child? Or are you talking about his two older sons that he has claimed that are not his and put a gun to their head with Sharice?
Yes. What type of individual puts a power to their own kid head? You deserve whatever they do to you, bro.
To his oldest son's head, a gun to his son's head. Are you talking about that son and fought his own son? Or are you talking about the child, the daughter, which is mine, who he's never seen since she was 6 months old on 4, never paid a dime, never checked on her, never called looking for her, nothing like that. Are those the children that you're speaking about? Are those the children that you think that he's locked up and away from his kids? He's not with his kids. Or you're talking about the 2 sons that he has with the wife before me that he hasn't seen in 5 years, but Sharice thinks that sending the mother $200 for 2 children who are 12 and 11 here and there is doing something. Are those the children? You can't buy children, okay? Like, you just can't throw money. Like, 5 years? Are you serious? His sons with Nikki are old enough to look on the internet. They're old enough to read. Do you really think that they don't see everything their dad is doing? They don't hear and see the things Sharice says and things like, you don't think that they see that? They do. And so I think your question should be to Cannon and ask him, why is he doing the things that he's doing to be locked away from the children that he could possibly have a relationship with one day? I think that everybody is so quick.
Again, I can't get past the fact that this man pulled Blake on his kid. Like, what type of nigga pulls Blake on his own kid? Like, bro, you weird, bro.
To try to attack the ex or the person that he's not with because she's speaking out. And I noticed that with the internet, like whenever somebody speaks up or stands up for themselves and they're an ex, it's either she's bitter or you're upset because you're not with him anymore, or why don't you just move on, or you do this or you do that, or and it's just like, when I first came out and spoke, that was all I asked for was a divorce. And he said he was never married to me. All I asked for was for him to sign over his rights. He said it wasn't his child.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If it's not your kid, you're not divorced. What's the problem? Sign over your rights. Give up the divorce. It shouldn't be no issue if you don't want it.
But now, now you guys are saying, or not you per se, I'm just saying, now I see, now that Sharice is admitting that, if they are married, who cares? Me and him aren't really married. A piece of paper means nothing. So why are you guys not asking her, why was she up on public platforms lying then? Why was he on public platforms lying? Why isn't he running to go get a divorce? Why isn't he running to, like, you guys are asking, like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, it's crazy the questions that are being asked towards other people when, like, why are you not asking Luce Cannon this question? Why are you not asking Sharice, as a mother that you are now, why are you only saying he has one child when it's public record he has 6? That
Goodness gracious, Luce Cannon. Not taking care of one kid is crazy. Not taking care of 6 just means you ain't SHIT as a person.
should be your question. Why are you comfortable as a woman sitting next to your man who has been proven a habitual liar? Why are you co-signing and condoning his behavior to be away from his children? Shouldn't you be asking her that question? Does she want him locked up and away from his kids? Because it seems like she's the one who's, I'm not with him. I'm not condoning him lying on and snitching and making. I didn't tell him to go on there and post that he robbed 50 Cent or Meek Mill or he wrote for Cardi B, but I didn't tell him to do that. So it seems like, a lot of
she's the one snitching. That's crazy.
Your
people, your wife telling you I'm not the one I told you to snitch is wild.
Those questions or concerns should be towards Cannon and his woman, the woman that's sitting next to him, the same woman that you guys see every day, every Sunday, literally recording a man's phone calls, who is in prison on a RICO charge. He is literally in prison. Like, come on. Have you heard him once on any of those phone calls ask about any of these children that you're so worried about him not seeing anymore?
You literally have never heard Luce Cannon ask about the kids. Not one single time. There has been not one single conversation of him questioning what's going on with these kids.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, it's natural for a child to want to connect with their parent at some point in their life. Would you rather see him locked up than free? Honestly, I feel like sometimes no parent is better than a toxic parent. So,
ooh, ain't that the truth? Say that again. As a single parent, I second that. Sometimes no parent is better than a toxic parent, because who the fuck knows what's going on here?
A toxic parent can do more damage than not having one. So it depends. Just because you make a baby doesn't make you a parent. Let's just start there, okay? There's child molesters who have children. Should we want them to not be locked up because the child wants to connect with the child molester? No, right? So that doesn't make sense. Cannon has mental issues. He is mentally unstable, and he is very toxic, and he is very abusive. I don't know what part you guys didn't hear about. He put a gun to his own son's head. Do you really think that I would allow a man who put a gun to his son's head with his girlfriend next to him, or any woman for that matter? Do you think I would allow him around my child? Like, just think about that. Like, come on, be serious. Like, that's not going to happen. And I'm not judging anybody else who's okay with that. Some people are okay with that, but not me. So,
yeah, no, you don't want your kids around those type of people.
For my child, no. Now, do I believe that people can change? Do I believe Cannon can get the mental help that he needs to possibly change and be a good father one day? Yes. I'm not God, and I believe, through God, anything's possible. But I believe that the person has to want to change. And as I said, clearly we can see that nothing's changing. He's literally in prison, and he is literally still doing the same thing with his girlfriend, aiding and abetting and co-signing still the same lies that landed him in prison, still telling his crimes and acting like he's doing this. He just said he got in a fight with Big U. Like, come on. It's a mental illness, man. Was he always slow? Yes. So Cannon has always spoke the way he speaks, but again, like I said, Cannon is an evil genius, which he clearly has. He has the gift of manipulation. He has the gift to make people believe anything he wants them to believe. Cannon can make you believe that he was Moses walking on water, and
he can make you believe he was Moses walking on water. I don't buy it.
9 out of the 10 people would probably believe it. The same reason why a lot of people still believe him till this day. Cannon can literally say that he built a nuclear bomb, and there's a group of people who are going to follow him and believe it. He's always been very good at that. Very, very good. Sharice was pushing those lies with Tremaine during all those interviews. No jumper, Capone news, drink with Jinx, etc. Exactly. So look in the comments. Street TV made a very good point. It put some of the links where you can go see his him and Sharice's interviews if you haven't seen them already. And I think that, like I said, you will understand why we are here at this point. Now, is Luce Cannon really a Rolling 60s Crip? No, he.
All right, man. We about to the next one. That's a wild story. We're gonna give y'all more of what Gigi's talking about as far as Luce Cannon. She's his wife. She would know. Let's get into this content. I mean, we got to get about this content, man. Y'all know the deal, though. Be better today than what you were yesterday. Even better tomorrow. But today, be at your best. You know the rest. Red dots to the left. Remember, y'all. Sometimes all you can do is live, bro. So go into the day. Just go ahead and live, big dog. Go ahead and live. Free Avenue Angel until he's free. We up out here to the next one. We are gone.